Hello, and welcome to the War in the Pacific. It is the 29th of January, 1942, in the Wirraway versus Encircled play-by-mail campaign. This boat is operating off Mindanao, and one of my amphibious convoys moving north from Mindanao runs across it, but he doesn't actually detect the transports. Some destroyers mopping up some Dutch off Surabaya. I was, I guess, correct. So Dee Dee Phelps and Selfridge, I think. The Selfridge, he sent in to raid Tulagi. I sighted those two destroyers in the Coral Sea a couple turns ago. I was wondering if they were trying to get at my amphibious convoys that were withdrawing from Port Moresby, but it seemed more likely from their position he was planning on raiding Tulagi. So he disbanded all the shipping. Looks like he's damaged it all with his bombardment, but I don't think there's anything critical. Should have moved those Mavis transports, but doesn't look like any were destroyed. Now, I wonder where they're going to go because by my count, they didn't have the speed to get in and out fully. So we'll see where they go. We have aircraft ready to hunt them. So they went to one of his few dot bases that remain in the Solomons. Thought he might use one of them. He probably set them to auto disband. So he has B-40s on cap over Clark. We'll see how the sweeps do. He had them on max altitude. Interesting. Okay. Hitting the airfield and the troops at Xi'an. Want to to the extent I'm able to ensure I don't want any troops moving from CN south into the wooded rough hacks that we've cleared. So I want to make sure to knock any of them out of move mode, along with inflicting casualties. Sonya's hitting the airfield at Sorabaja just to limit any fort building as we get ready to take Sorabaja. More Sally's hitting Xi'an. Sally's hitting a small base at Lantern, which I suspect is where his patrol aircraft are operating from. Lily's hitting the airfield at Kopang. Ah, interesting. I took Jolo last turn with a company-sized missile naval landing force unit, and he sent B-17s after them. Okay, the second set of sweeps. We'll see what the final numbers are. Interesting. I wonder what we've cited off Diego Garcia. Oscar's sweeping ahead of Betty's, bombarding the Australians at Port Moresby. So Yanel's going after his destroyers. Not surprisingly, aren't able to hit the fleet little aircraft. However, they won't, I think, be the only aircraft hunting those destroyers. Carrier-based Kates using bombs this time. Phelps is crippled. Selfridge gets away. Yeah, that's it for the turn except for ground combat. A couple battles. One at Surabaja, our first full deliberate attack at Surabaja. It still has some combat power there. Looks like it'll fall next turn, probably. Or
Greetings, everybody. How's
Port
trade?
Moresby
Here,
falls
Orphan Annie
relatively
from
easily.
Radio Tokyo, saying hello to all of her dog faces and boneheads wandering the Pacific Islands. Before we start the music, the Japanese High Command announced today that the ever victorious forces of the Japanese Empire have captured Port Moresby.
Just about ready to try another deliberate attack at Kopang. Still trying to get this FMSV brigade to surrender. Okay. S- Speed through the end of this. It's good that Port Moresby fell so easily. It was at least me really, as far as my phase one objectives, only uh, Kopang. Um, Assuming Sorbaha falls next turn, I will have achieved all my phase one objectives by the end of January as I had planned. Let's take a look at how we did in the air. So 13 Allied losses. He's reporting 14, so pretty close. Looks like we got 13 P40s for the loss of 4 zeros. So a little better than 3-1. It's good exchange ratio, but let's take a look at one, only one pilot MIA from the Tainan 15 aircraft flying from the Tainan out of an island. Let's see how Chaito's coup, which less experienced, so they ended up losing 2 KIA. So between 2 or 3 pilots lost 4 aircraft. For 13 enemy aircrafts, he probably only lost 3 or 4 pilots, but none of those pilots would have been terribly experienced anyway. But what's really going on here is trying to keep his attention on Mindanao, this spotted task force, and these spotted task forces are headed to take Iolio. I, let's see. I think that's about the right pronunciation, which is the only remaining level 2 airfield in the Sulu Sea. now that Julo's in our hands and the rest of Mindanao. Um, I'm targeting level 2 and level 3. I want to get rid of the level 2 airfield so he can't conduct offensive operations from any of his airfields other than Manila and Clark and Tarakan uh, on Borneo. That'll allow me increased freedom of movement. But really, what I'm trying to do is keep his attention here because he hasn't sighted my actual invasion convoys that are going to land on northern Luzon with the goal of taking Manila and forcing him back into Clark Field in the coming week or so. It'll take longer than that, probably 2 weeks to take Manila. Uh, there are 3 veteran divisions plus support and artillery. Should be adequate, but we shall see. I don't want to give him a complete free hand in the Philippines, uh, but so I want to drive him back into Clark, and then we'll pull out those veteran divisions for follow-on operations and replace them with some greener divisions to sit on him and eventually starve him. We'll starve him and fight to clear Luzon, but I don't really plan on having that done until May. No rush. I just don't want to allow him to freely operate out of Manila and continue to generate supplies from Manila. So that's what's going on here. Lucians are quiet at the moment. I'm continuing to build up my bases. Uh, Next couple of days should see there's no sign that he's moving, that he's attempting to move, and he may have just decided with my air supremacy here that he wouldn't have an option. I'm a little surprised he didn't withdraw into the better terrain, though maybe these units are also trashed. He's hoping I destroy them and they respawn at Chungking. We'll recon the mountain hexes in the coming day or two, but I suspect this is where he's concentrating his defense in the north. The longer term plan here, of course, is to drive on Lanchao and uh, move towards Chengdu. But also taking Xi'an will allow us building up the airfield, and we've got engineers and aviation support moving, but allow us with the long range TINAs to move aviation support all the way to Hami to provide limited air cover or air support if we need it as these forces consolidate and move towards Rumshi. Burma's, we're still waiting for our units to make it through the jungle, a few more turns, so we can assault Tanggu. I'm surprised he's defending Tanggu versus retreating back to the better terrain at Lashao. Looks like he may have left Pila open. Always an eye here for open bases that we could grab with paratroopers and cut off his retreat. But we really want to force him out of Tunggu and sort of chase him all the way towards Lashao, since he's chosen to, it appears, defend ×2 terrain instead of ×3. I'm not sure why. I don't think there's any benefit of doing that for him, but I don't know. You don't know how he sees it. We've got some preparatory invasions building up here. Take these bases along the coast of Sumatra while we're waiting for our carriers and transports to get back for phase 2 operations in the Indian Ocean. I want to blind him where possible so he can't see the transports exiting the straits. As I said, sort of Baja should fall, leaving uh, all of Java, mainland Java in our hands, just Pamekasan still occupied by an understrength Dutch regiment, but everything else will be ours. So with the fall of Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea is in our hands. Uh, Obviously, need to clean up some more dot bases because he's almost certainly those two destroyers are hiding here. Um, I think they'll have trouble escaping. My guess is Selfridge it doesn't have a ton of fuel, and Phelps, of course, is crippled. So um, don't want to spend a ton of effort on it, but want to make sure those, to the extent possible, those raiders pay the full price for their attempt to raid Tulagi. And then we're just continuing to build up Espiritu Santo and prepare for our next operations to mop up the islands in Fiji and the Tonga Islands. So right now it looks pretty good, and I look forward to our next chance to talk.